Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and we've had a very shocking twist in this Theros Beyond Death card leak. There have been more pictures released because I believe this person opened 3 packs. In fact, the packs are up on the screen right now. But they're still claiming they got them at like Walgreens or something, which is utterly ridiculous. So assuming these are somehow stolen or whatever, this idiot decided to take this picture, for example, which appears to be on top of a glass case in a local gaming store, and if you look under it, those are very particular, very specific cards in a very particular, specific order. So anybody on the internet who's looking at these, which would be, probably 500,000 to 1 million people, I think, because 10 million people play the game, any of them could look at that and say, oh, that row of those 4? Yeah, I know what store that is. So if you know what store that is, it's very easy to find Wizards support email. Hell, just call them on the phone. Turn this piece of human garbage in, and Mark Rosewater will probably come serve ice cream sundaes at your next birthday party. Or bar mitzvah. Definitely bar mitzvah. In fact, even if you don't know what store this is, but you got a bar mitzvah coming up, call him up. Oh, that guy's a party animal. 2 beers later, he'll be up on the roof singing show tunes. I guarantee it. Well, that didn't take long for this to go off the rails. Anyway, I'm going to try to remember which ones I haven't spoiled yet here. So let's zoom up on Dreadful Apathy, which is clearly something that the R&D playtesting department suffers from. So it's a 3-cost enchantment, enchant creature, can't attack or block, and then if you pay 3, you can exile the enchanted creature. I like that. I don't think we've had anything quite like that, at least not recently. So it's like, okay, you're on pin down, but if you want to go harder on it, because it is only a combat preventer, drop another 3, bye-bye. I love this, and by the way, I believe it was Mark Rosewater himself who said that they want to put more answers for the purposes of draft and sealed. They want to put more answers to the bombs in the common slot, so that somebody says, well, okay, somebody just got out this crazy mythic. Lucky them, it was in their pool, great. But with removal spells or total shutdown spells or just whatever in the common slot, you probably have 2, 3, 4 ways to deal with that card in your deck. And I 100% agree with the direction they were going with that. So I think he said that they had learned that a while back and were already trying to implement it. So I think this card is it right here. Hopefully we see more examples of this because this is so significant. This is like the pinnacle of what he just said they're going to do. And I want them to move in that direction. I'm just so sick of people winning with bombs. That's just luck. There's no skill there. Skill is me holding onto this card until your bomb comes out. And then, bye. Next up, we got Daybreak Chimera. I do hate the person who leaked this, and I don't think leaks should happen. But, and you guys probably know what's coming, don't cover the casting cost in the photo, you dick. Just makes it look staged like it was Wizards who orchestrated all this. I don't know. Anyway, so this costs who the hell knows, but it costs X less to cast, where X is your devotion to white, and then it has flying. So I suspect that this probably costs 5. It might even be like double white, triple generic. So this would just be a good solid weapon white devotion. It would just be very, very, very good. Next up, a shocker with Captivating Unicorn. It's a 5-cost and it has Constellation, the mechanic that almost single-handedly ruined Journey into NYX, and they're bringing it back. Wow. I hope Bestow is coming back because that's one that I actually wanted. Giving a creature an extra life, exactly 1 extra life, without having to hit the graveyard, resurrect, or any of this other crap, flicker it, none of that nonsense. Just, it gets killed, cool, it's piggybacking, it jumps off, now you gotta kill it again, and it's a little bit weaker. I love that. I love Bestow, but Constellation is crap. So, when an enchantment enters battlefield under your control, tap target creature and opponent controls. Now, they appear to have actually fixed it this time, where they have printed enough enchantments that are actually good, aka the enchantment creatures, that you could probably trigger this regularly, and there's probably going to be all kinds of mechanics that say for every enchantment, or every time an enchantment enters battlefield. So I do think they're going to pull it off. There is actually nothing wrong with Constellation as a mechanic. It's barely even a mechanic. It's just like an ETB effect for one particular super type. We already have that on cards and they didn't give it a name. So it's, I'm going hard on it just, because it's the joke, beat up on Journey to NYX. Ooh, nobody wanted it. Ooh, Constellation sucks, but whatever. Really, really basic mechanic, it'll probably work. Next up, I guess, is NYX Born Marauder. It's a double white single generic Centaur. We don't know its attack or toughness because it's cut off, but it's vanilla. That's just flavor text. So I think this is just common jank filler for It's an enchantment. It's an enchantment creature, so it's for like draft or seal, where it's like, oh, another enchantment, but I don't think it's like actually good. Then again, it could be a 5/5. Who knows? Next up, we've got all the tokens. Looks like they're, I don't know, full art, extended art, borderless. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. It looks bigger than normal. Big art edition. They made so many damn editions, I don't even know where they all come from. I've given up. So we're going to have wolves, which, whatever. Goats, which, come on, goats are the greatest thing ever. Trading post, guys. M13, no, 14. One of M something. I don't know. Go buy the card. Human soldier, whatever. Big surprise there. And a satyr, which, it's not the watermelon satyr. I could tell that right now by the one attack. I'm very sure that the other satyr was like a 3/3. And I think it refers to itself. It just says can't block, but that's the end of the sentence. I can't imagine what it would start with other than satyr. I mean, it wouldn't be like a powerful field spell like creatures with flying can't block. Like, that would be insane. But I don't know, maybe that is what it does. Who knows? So next up, we got another constellation card in Cetessan Skirmisher. It's a 2/1 for 2. And whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Very temporary, but I mean, swinging for 3 while costing 2, pretty good, except that in green, you might be able to just permanently get a creature that is better than that. So I don't know. It's not an enchantment itself, so I don't know. Not one of the better constellation effects. By the way, I'm calling it right now. We might see an enchantment land. That would be pretty wild. That's one thing that I think they might pull out for this one. Although I don't know what zone it would go in, and people could kind of like hide it from destruction by putting it on their landline, and there's already a card that does that, and people cheat with it constantly, so maybe not. But it's a thought. Next up, Leahs Huntmaster. Ooh, Leah. Love her bow. Big fan. So it's 4/3 for 4, and when it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is your devotion to green. Ooh! And then after that, it's a 4/3 for 4, so damn, you could do some damage with that. If this was just a spell, it would be good. Maybe not for 4, but wow, then you get a creature on top of it. I mean, wow. I just wish it was like double green for devotion, but that might be honestly taking it a little far, especially for a common. Oh, I love devotion decks. Next up, we got Thaumaturge's Familiar. You're not colored. Get out of here. This is a devotion set. Piss off, stupid Hogwarts owl. Anyway, it's a birdo, and it's a 1/3 for 3 flying, and when it enters battlefield, scry 1. Wow, that is not good. Oh, wait, that's right. Steel Overseer. This is the absolute god amongst men of flying robot birds. They seriously need to ban Steel Overseer. It's only going to be a problem over the next set. It has to be. We're just going to get more artifact creatures. So next up, we got Scola Grove Dancer. It's a 2/2 for 2 enchantment creature, and has the funny enchantment border, by the way, if you're wondering why that looks different. The sparkles, they did that the first time around. And whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, weird. I hope that doesn't become a mechanic. I hate stuff like that. You gain 1 life. Okay, that must mean that it's really, really common and going to happen all the time. Oh, God. If you pay 3, put the top card of your library in your graveyard. Oh, I see. It might be a self-contained crapshoot, and that isn't a mechanic. I don't know. That card just doesn't seem good, but you never know. It all comes down to what goes with it. Next up, Briar Blessing. It's a 2-cost aura, which is also an enchantment. Enchant creature you control only, and when it enters the battlefield, enchanted creature fights up to 1 target creature you don't control, and then it only gets +0/+2. So removal without a boost for 2 that counts as an enchantment and ups the toughness, which keeps your creature alive. I'm going to say very playable. Next up, we've got Voracious Typhoon. And a small part of a note that's on the glass case. Holy crap, could you be more obvious? This dumbass is going to get caught. Anyway, Voracious Typhoon, or Typhon. I think I said Typhoon. It's Typhon. Typhon? I don't know. I think they made up the word. It's a snake beast. It's a 4/4 for 4 devotion. What's up? Double green there. Love it. And it has escape 7. Almost said 5. Exile 4 of the cards from your graveyard, and then it escapes from your graveyard back into play with 3 counters on it. So devotion plus escape. That is the perfect storm. I love it. Next up, Cetessan Training. It's a 2-cost enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card, and then enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has trample. Ooh, that's got everything going for it. Next up, we've got Nexus Wardens, which Helen Keller here took a photo of, so we don't know what the hell its stats are, but it is a 3-cost with reach, and it has constellation. When an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 2 life. I mean, that's purely defensive, but I mean, you might need that. Who knows? I mean, everybody knows with devotion and constellation, you can't even assess the cards until you see them all. There might be cards that go with it. Bad cards might go into a good deck, and good cards might not have a deck for them. I mean, it's just, you really can't make a determination until you see everything. Next up, we've got Dodge Viper. Oh, wait, that says Moss Viper. It's a 1/1 for 1 Danger Noodle. And it has Death Noodle Doodle, so stay away from this thing. Next up, we got a truly Greek card with Ichthyomorphosis. And I don't know what kind of creature that is in the picture, but it just looks like he's having a Monday. I have been there. So this is a 3-cost aura, and you enchant creature, and it loses all abilities and is a blue fish with base power and toughness 0/1. Because turn to frog, or whatever, frog prince, I don't remember what the hell the card is called. Whatever, giving it 1/1 was just way too much, okay? It could still kill something with 1 toughness. We gotta go 0/1, damn it. I think this costs 1 more mana than that, though. I don't know if that's worth it, but it does change its color identity, which is interesting. Next up, Eidolon of Philosophy, which unfortunately does not have Bestow, and I think a lot of the Eidolons did, so that doesn't bode well. But anyway, it's an enchantment creature. It's a 1/2 for 1, and if you pay 7, you can sack it and draw 3 cards. Nice little late game option. I'm not sure if people will really play it in Constructed. I mean, 7's pretty high for something that's blue, but you could throw like 1 or 2 into Simic Flash. I don't think it really needs it. It's just a stupid insurance policy that gets in the way. A 1/2 for 1 mana with single blue devotion in a devotion or a constellation deck, though, when it's an enchantment creature, boy, we might have something there. Next up, we got Naiad of Hidden Coves. Or maybe it's Naiad. I don't know. I don't speak whatever that is. So it's a 2/3 for 3, and as long as it's not your turn, spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Oh, good. I was worried that I'd be able to resolve a spell ever. This is exactly what we needed to take Simic Flash and make it stupidly annoying. They didn't even know it. This isn't even that good of a card, but they accidentally just completely ruined Standard. So here comes another ban from that deck. Unbelievable. I know that deck tends to get its power from Oko, but still. I've seen versions of it that don't. Next up, we got Triton Waverider. It's a 3/3 for 4 with Constellations, a Merfolk wizard. I hate Merfolk. And whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, Triton Waverider gains flying until end of turn. Oh boy, too bad it only hits for 3, even though it cost 4. But that's your typical blue creature there. Next up, we just got a vanilla 2/5 that costs 4 with double blue devotion. That's also an enchantment. So just filler jank to get the numbers up. NYX Born Seaguard. I'm starting to wonder because it looks like the blue devotion strategy, like the thing it pairs with, is some kind of delay as long as possible thing. And I am super not about that because it's either going to be like mill or some other bullshit. Well, everybody loves games that go on for 60 minutes and don't let your opponent do anything, right? Next up, Stern Dismissal. Look at that sternness. Looks like she's got resting and active bitch face. Anyway, it's a 1-cost instant and return target creature or enchantment an opponent controls to its owner's hands. So basically unsummon. Well, Theros edition at least. I will say though, unsummon is the same exact thing, but it only targets creatures. So if you're running unsummon, now you're running this. Next up, moving on to red, we've got something or other of the Revel. It's a 5-cost 4/4, and when Heroes of the Revel, that's probably what it's called, enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 red satyr creature token with this creature can't block. Hey, mystery solved. Whenever you cast a spell that targets this crappy card, creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. Oh, good. I mean, I will say this would be horrifically broken unfair shit in red because red, honestly, red, green, red, white, or mono red creature token rush is like a thing, but this costs 5. So like, good luck. If you get this out, wonderful. You should have won already. All right, so then we got Dream Shaper Shaman. They cut it off because this person's a moron. Appears to be a 6-cost 5/4 enchantment creature. It says at the beginning of your end step, I assume, you may pay 3 and sacrifice an non-land permanent. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land permanent card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. We might have already seen that one, but that's interesting. We've also got Satyr's Cunning. It's a 1-cost red sorcery, and you create a 1/1 red satyr creature token with this creature can't block, and then it has Escape 3, which is funny because it's not a creature, so that doesn't make sense. So ditch 2 cards out of your graveyard, and then pay 3, and you get another crappy 1/1 token. Okay, I mean, it might work. Who knows? Next up, Underworld Rage Hound. Oh boy, this is terrible glare. Elemental, so that's what we needed. 3-1 for 2. Are you serious? They better ban that stupid elemental spider thing, I forget what it's called. So this attacks each combat if able, so okay. And then it has escape 4, it looks like. Exile 3 other cards, and then drop it in, and it comes in with 1 single counter on it. Well, that's annoying. Next up, we've got Portent of Betrayal. It's Act of Treason for 1 more mana, but you get to scry 1. Oh boy. You know, the red or red color mix Kidnapper deck is going to be so annoying because you know it's going to run Witch's Oven, and they're just going to sack it instead of giving it back, and then get food on top of it. I hate that deck right now. Next up, Thrill of Possibility. It's a 2-cost red instant, and as an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. That looks familiar. Don't remember if it normally costs 2, but yeah, that's a pretty good card, actually. Next up, Irreverent Revelers. That's fun to say. 3-cost creature, Satyr. It's a 2-2, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, or it gains haste until end of turn. Oh, I like that. Dual purpose. You don't have to take out a creature or some kind of ambush spell to put in an artifact destruction in red. You just say, oh, here's a haste creature. Cool. Do you have an artifact? Yes? No? Cool. I can do whatever I need depending upon the answer to that question. So next up, we're moving into black with Funeral Rites. It's a 3-cost sorcery, and you draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and put the top 2 cards of your library in your graveyard, which most of those probably help you. 2 cards for 3, I mean, that's not bad. Load up the graveyard, that's not bad. Next up, Aspect of the Lamprey. Oh, it's my ex-girlfriend. They finally put her on a card. Just kidding. So it's a 4-cost enchantment aura and enchant creature you control. When Aspect of the Lamprey enters the battlefield, target opponent discards 2 cards, and then enchanted creature has lifelink. I'm digging these dual benefit cards. These are pretty spicy. 4 is kind of high, but I mean, they took Mind Rot and just added an effect to it and added a mana to it, so whatever. I don't remember if we've seen Omen of the Dead yet, so what the hell. 1-cost enchantment, flash. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and then if you pay 3, sack it and scry 2. Cool, so next up, I guess we're going back to red. I don't know what order these are in, this is really weird. Arena Trickster, it's a 4-cost 3-3, and when you cast your first spell during an opponent's turn, put a 1-1 counter on Arena Trickster. A 1-1 counter, as in permanently. That is not a red effect, that's a green effect. And spell counts and spells during your opponent's turn, that's a blue effect. What the hell is this card? Boy, they've gotten into some trouble lately in Standard by colors not staying in their lane, so I don't like this. Next up, unbelievably, we have a reprint of Infuriate, which I think is from Throne of Eldraine. Like, what the hell? I already had a problem with this card the first time. This card is how I killed somebody on turn 3, their turn 2, by the way. You should not be able to give something +3/+2 for 1 mana. That is completely ridiculous. Next up, Iroas's Blessing. It's a 4-cost aura, enchant creature you control. It enters battlefield and deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. I guess they felt the need to put that so you couldn't hit your own. That's weird. And then enchanted creature gets +1/+1. So another little dual effect card. Cool. Next up, Rapid Flames. Cool artwork there. It's a 4-cost sorcery and it deals 1 damage to each of up to 3 target creatures. Those creatures can't block this turn. Wonderful. That's exactly what red needed right now. Was the only way I can stop it gone. Good thing this is sorcery speed and cost 4. That really reduces the playability. Could be lethal as hell on red-white, though. Next up, Incendiary Oracle. It's a 2-cost 2/2 human shaman, and if you pay 2, it gets +1 until end of turn, so almost fire-breathing. And if a creature dealt damage by Incendiary Oracle would die this turn, exile it instead. Oh, she burning everybody to ashes. That's just cool. Next up, NYX Born Marauder. It's another enchantment creature, Cyclops, and it's a 7/3 for 5. That's it. It's vanilla. I love it. This is just simple. It's crazy, and it's appropriately costed. And yet still very good, even though it's almost definitely a one-hitter. So next up, I guess we're going back to white. I didn't really check the order before I did these. Indomitable Will. It has Flash, which is always fun for an aura because it's basically an instant, but you get to keep it. And enchant creature just gains +1/+2. Fun little ambush that keeps on going. I almost wish it was like 2/1, but then it would kind of resemble an instant where you're just like, I'm going to crash into you and maybe not die. So this is a little more safe and calculated, but you ain't going to surprise them that much with only +1. I mean, like I've said, you really need 2. +1 only takes it from either a tie to, okay, now I lived and you're dead, or in all likelihood, oh, look, we both lived. I mean, it's a little bit of a surprise, but I'd rather have the creature die, and +1 ain't gonna do it. But you might be able to stack another enchantment ETB effect on top of it, aka Constellation. Next up, oh look, it's the entire community trying to get Oko banned with his stupid elks. That's accidentally hilarious, Wizards of the Coast. Thanks for putting this on a card, you assholes. Oh, and also, thanks for putting a removal ability on a Planeswalker for plus. Removal is a minus on Planeswalkers. I don't know if you've noticed from every other Planeswalker ever printed, pretty much. Anyway, Karametra's Blessing. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and instant speed, wonderful, that's a good base. What else we got? If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. Oh, that's spicy. That went from playable to like, damn, in the right deck. I love it. You guys know I love a good ambush. It's probably my favorite tactic. Instant speed combat shenanigans it's always going to be my favorite deck. I love it. Well, that and like, don't swing at me or I'll wreck your entire life. AKA my blue-white commander deck. I love it. Next up, kitties are back. Leonin of the Lost Pride. It's a 3/1 for 2. Fantastic. Cat Warrior, love it. And when it dies, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Okay. In the meantime, it's a 3/1, so yeah, good card, I guess. Next up, Glory Bearers. It's an enchantment creature. 4 costs. Whenever another creature you control attacks, it gets, it as in the attacking creature, gets +0/+1 until end of turn. And being a highly defensive card, I suspect that this is probably like a 0/4, 0/5, maybe like a 2/4. I don't know, they cut it off because this person's an idiot in more ways than one. If you're playing white, don't go on the defensive. I honestly don't think this is a good card almost regardless. Next up is Fallons Tactics. It definitely does something. It's a 2-cost instant. It probably says each creature you control gets something until end of turn. Each other... Oh, it's probably target creature. Okay, yeah. Target creature you control gets something until end of turn. Probably indestructible or something. And then each other probably attacking creature or each other creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I assume that's what it is. Because that resembles that heroic ability, which is super not heroic. I mean, if that does what I think it does, that is a damn good card. So next up, Rage Scarred Berserker. It's a 5-cost 5/4 Minotaur Berserker, and when it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +1/+7 and gains indestructible till end of turn. Ooh, kind of one and done, but it'll be so late game. Ooh, my noodles are done. Ooh, those are some tasty noodles. All right, where did we leave off? Yeah, that's a good creature. Cool. I'm honestly way more excited about these noodles. I was one of the last tomatoes still left over that I grew in my very own garden. If you have not had homegrown tomatoes, they taste 1,000 times better than that garbage they sell at the grocery store. I use real onions, single source olive oil, which strangely they sell at the hardware store near me. I know, ultra premium olive oil at the hardware store. It's right next to some cheese. This is Wisconsin, okay? It ain't even that surprising. But you know what is that surprising? Fruit of Tizerus. Which, by the way, if that name sounds familiar, according to Greek legend, the fruit of Tizerus is not actually as delicious as the noodles I just made. And also, it's a 1-cost black sorcery that says target player loses 2 life. Straight up, and then you get escape. Exile 3, pay 4, boom, nuke him again. Direct, virtually unstoppable damage. Do not underestimate it. Next up, we got NYX Born Marauder, which is, it looks like a vanilla creature, but it's another that I'd almost call a cycle at this point because it's an enchantment creature, its attack power equals its casting cost, so it's reasonable for a vanilla creature, and it's double black devotion. So although these appear to lack a mechanic, they kind of don't. Next up, we've got Venomous Hierophant, which strangely looks like a Gorgon, and also a Naga. They gotta get their stuff straight, man. Anyway, it's a 3/3 for 4 with Death Touch, and when it enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, which means self-mill and Graveyard Resurrection or Graveyard Synergy, just graveyard anything is going to be a mechanic, and I don't want it to be, because graveyard mechanics suck. It's like they just can't stop them from being inherently unfair for some reason. Next up, we got a very shiny Flicker of Fate. I wonder if it's a Flicker card. It's a 2-cost white instant. Oh my gosh, it exiles target creature or enchantment, then returns it to the battlefield? That's so crazy. Next up, Pious Wayfarer. It's a 1/2 for 1 human scout with Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. I think this will be a pretty good, like, defensive anti-red 1/1 kind of really good move in any deck that would be Constellation-based. And, oh, that is the end of it. So that's all the spoilers we have for now, except for the one spoiler that everybody's waiting for, which is, what store is this? Let's bust this absolute idiot, assuming that they actually did something wrong. I mean, maybe they did just randomly accidentally get a booster at Walgreens and buy informal retail contract they now own. Hard to sue somebody when you walked into a store and bought their product, like fair and square. Although in my opinion, the chances that that is true and actually happened, 1 in 10 tops. Yeah, this dumbass is about to get the legal hammer thrown square at his face. Somebody please identify the case under these photos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.